First of all, I would like to start off by saying just how proud I am of our football team and the 19 seniors that took the field tonight, and the few that actually couldn't take the field because of injury. It's amazing to think that we're sitting here and we've just, and I know, I mean, you're probably sitting out there, but we just eclipsed our 7th win. Our 7th win. The 7 wins have never been accomplished during a regular season at Georgia State University. 10 years of football. And we just did it. And that's making history. There's a couple things that you remember. You remember the big games, but for those seniors, you always remember that first game you play, you always remember that last game you play, and then you always remember 7, or the senior day. And they're going to remember this one because they set a standard, another standard, and they have an opportunity to go set, another notch next week, and then following. But how proud? Because to tell you the truth, it's a hard mindset when you go and you take the field, and let's just be honest, their record wasn't stellar, and then you had a tremendous rainstorm right there at the beginning of that game, and it didn't start out the way you wanted it to. I mean, for us, offensively, but we just stayed the course and got in the flow. Once again, Dan Ellington out there performing the way he did. I'm lost for words for that young man and for all our seniors. But what an inspiration he is, I know, to myself and to our football team and to everybody that's watching or paying attention to what we're doing here. I'm proud of our coaches. Our coaches, you guys, you sit on the other side of this, but coaching is not all glamorous. I mean, you work long hours. You try to put these young men in the best position possible, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And these guys do a good job. They come to work with great attitudes, and they stay long hours, and they recruit their tails off, and they just make it really enjoyable to be a head football coach. Somebody told me before I became a head football coach, they said the head football coach is the loneliest guy in the staff or in the office, and it's just the opposite with our staff. It's so fun to be around them and interact with them and game plan with them and yell at them and all of the above. But I'm a proud head coach of Georgia State University as I sit here, and it feels very, very good.
Coach, could you talk about the impact of Tra Barnett, not only on this season, but throughout his whole career?
It's just amazing that, I thought last year he really came into his own as a true running back. And with running backs, your offensive line has to develop right along with them. And I thought it's been one and the same. The better our line got, Tra got better. Our Tra got better, our line got better. And to see what they're doing this season is remarkable. I mean, it really is remarkable. I mean, sometimes we can just hand that ball off, and I mean, everybody in the stadium knows what we're going to do. We're going to hand it over to Barnett, and we're going to push it, and we're going to run it probably inside right there, and next thing you know, that guy spits, and it comes out the other side for a 10, 12, sometimes a 30, 40-yard gain. He's just when I say a tremendous teammate, because he keeps to himself. He works hard. He doesn't say a whole lot. When it's his time, it's his time, and that's I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, you just talked about Tra. Just how much have the seniors meant to you guys over their careers here?
These seniors are the difference. They're the reason we're sitting here at 7 wins right now. They're the reason we're setting the standard. I expressed with them last night that I think it's some of the best leadership that I've seen in the 23 years that I've been coaching. And it's, it just didn't happen. I saw it happen immediately after the season a year ago. I saw the leaders step to the forefront. I saw their intentions. Their intentions were to be successful, to not only work hard, but to just do the right things, to hold people to a standard that they thought was necessary to get us where we needed to be. And what a senior day for those guys. I mean, truly. And I've said this a lot of times. Our 4 captains, I always ask after spring practice, who they think our captains are. And at that time, I think we had 80 some odd players, and I would probably have said 77 out of the 83 players said the exact same 4 guys that took the field against Tennessee as our captains. And that tells you if you've got a chance or not. And we established leadership early on.
Coach, all season long, when people have brought up the touchdowns Aubrey Payne's been scoring, you've been quick to point out that Roger Carter's been just as useful to the team, and today he really showed out. Was there a game plan to get him touches, or was he just getting open in the field?
Yeah, as you go through the situational stuff in the course of the game, we thought they were just leaving, the nakeds, the flat routes. So we thought we could get him the football, and he certainly was capable of catching it. And once he catches it, he's a load to bring down. Aubrey got, he's getting the touchdown touches, but Roger comes in there and he does it all. And Roger's a very successful young man on and off the field. He's almost like Barnett, where he's really quiet. He works hard. If you didn't ask him a question, you wouldn't know he was probably in the room. It wasn't the game plan. Honestly, we don't go into a game and say, hey, we've got to get the ball to this, and this. We let the flow of the game, and the defense kind of dictate what we need to do to win. And that's how we do each and every week. And he's just fortunate he came out on a great end today.
You have to remind Dan, don't run. Don't run.
Dan came to the sideline and was begging to run. He was. They were stuffing us inside early on, and I looked to or communicate with our guys upstairs, and I was like, we've got to bring out some speed option. We've got to get some perimeter run game going. And so Dan was off the field. He had the headset on because he was communicating to Coach Glenn up top, and he's like, yes, 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 yes. So we called the first speed option, and I don't know if you know anything about speed option, but relatively you pitch off the end on the line of scrimmage. So we call it the first time, and Dan runs it, and he pitches it about 4 yards too soon. And Destin Coates gets run down for about a 3 or 4 yard gain, and I looked at him, I'm like, listen, we're going to run this, you need to run it right. You got to go attack that defensive end, you got to make him commit, and then you give that lateral pitch out there. But he pitched a little early, and he kind of just grinned at me, and I was like, okay, well, it was kind of a funny moment because he was begging. He was like, yes, let's do it, and then he go out there and pitched it way too soon. Just one of those funny things. But did you see him running around out there? I'm like, what are you doing? He said, hold up. Yeah, I don't know. Just different. It's just different.
On the defensive side, you pretty largely handled the dive, the inside run for the running back. How integral was that to the success for the defense, do you think?
Oh, without a doubt. Their inside gap scheme, run game was basically their offense. I thought they could run the ball pretty well coming into the game. I knew it would be that, and then they take their deep shots. I thought we handled their run game early on. Tremendous, just the impact. The guys that you don't always hear, the Dante Wilsons, Terry Thomas, those guys inside. Vic Hayward, you name it, Trajan Stevens McQueen, those guys right there, just handling the run game. Zach Dixon, sometimes that can be difficult. They had some large humans up there trying to block them, and they did a good job. And I think their back's a really good player.
Coach over here. Just discuss discipline of the team. Only 3 penalties, no fumbles lost or fumbles in general. Just discuss the team being able to hold the ball and stay disciplined through those adverse conditions, especially in the first half.
Yeah, we've been going into this season. We've been pretty successful as far as eliminating the penalties. We're not a bunch of boneheads out there. Today we had what I thought was a couple of foolish penalties that I wasn't too happy with. The Destin Coates flip into the end zone, and then they run it back 70 yards on us on the kickoff return. And then right there at the end, the pushing and shoving. That's not what we want to be about. But we do have a lot of discipline. Our coaches coach that way. We run our football program with discipline. It's not just come and go as you please. We've got some standards that we set, and they have to abide by those standards. And it shows in the penalty phase. And that's a good thing. I think to be successful, you can't have the penalties that take away from drive starters or ultimately leading into points for other teams.
Mr. Coach?